Just got out of my Wednesday yoga class. And I'm telling you, I'm feeling so much improvement. I started last Thanksgiving, and it's really something I really highly recommend. There's so much more to it than just tying yourself in knots, and there's a lot of that too. And some days are very difficult. My body just does not want to cooperate. My sleep has just really improved. My range of motion, it's simple things that you take for granted. Just looking over your shoulder to change lanes. It just so much. There's no pain, and I can look farther, and it's a little bit safer in general. I'm kind of my mind has got a ton of things going through it right now, and that is another thing that yoga talks about, is how to calm your mind. And it's hard to calm your mind when you're doing fun things. And I do a lot of fun things. I've waited my whole life for this retirement, and I'm just taking every day and making the most of it and trying new things and doing new things. And the YouTube Garage Gang has always been a part of that ever since I started making videos. And I want to thank all my subscribers and appreciate it. I appreciate your support and your input. And as I've said many times before, check some of the people that comment below. They're wonderful folks, and go check out their channel. And if you like what you see, go ahead and sub. And so one of the ways of saying thank you. I know when I first started watching YouTube, I had an injury. I fell off a ladder. Matter of fact, it was this three-legged ladder right here, leaning up against the trailer. I was cutting a limb off of a tree, and I was taking every possible safety precaution. The one thing that I wasn't expecting was that the branch used to be a big tree right over here where these grapes are along the fence, and it wasn't as big as that tree that you're in the neighbor's yard, but it was pretty big. And it bounced into their yard on those branches. It was a big limb with the branches attached, and it bounced back up and hit that ladder just right. I had an electric chainsaw in my right hand, and it sent that ladder flying, and I was so nervous about having that chainsaw in my grip, and there wasn't time. I just remember seeing blue sky. I landed flat on my back. I broke over 6 ribs. I still have 2 of them that are turned at an odd angle. And I was laid up for a while with a broken wrist and those broken ribs. I was black and blue from my back of my knees all the way to my earlobes. And I was in the hospital for a week. I know people that go in for a hip replacement and only spend 3 days there. But that's kind of what happened. And I spent the next couple of months at home recuperating before I could get the okay to go back to work. And that's when I started watching YouTube, and it really was an eye-opener for me in many ways, because it was my source of entertainment. I don't have cable TV. I don't have a regular cell phone. I have a track phone for emergency use. I used to ride Harleys, and I wanted to have a phone or some way of communication with me in case I had issues. So YouTube was kind of one of my fun sources of entertainment, and I created a channel so that I could comment on other folks' videos, and I started watching some particular videos in particular. They were like prepper channels. A fellow named Nut and Fancy, who still puts stuff up. Hickok 45 was a favorite. There was this goofball, the Armory channel. I haven't watched him in a long time, but I have one of his t-shirts. And, there was nothing else attached to it. It was just a t-shirt with the name of his channel on it. And it hung in the closet for a long time. He's a gun channel, and I started wearing it here for different, not for different things, but just because it was hanging in my closet. Why not wear it? It's kind of silly how much emphasis a person can put on just a t-shirt and that identification. It had some .45 pistols on the back, and I just kind of was nervous about going around in grocery stores and places like that with that type of stamp, because I was when I had my motorcycle, I've had motorcycles all my life till recently, and then towards the end I bought a full-size Harley and a Super Glide Sport, and then I bought a smaller Sportster just because I thought they were cool and they were so much smaller. And anyhow, that's neither here nor there, but the point I was thinking of trying to make is that when I had both the Harleys and the Japanese bikes, and it was funny because if I was dressed up in gear for the sport bike, the Japanese sport bike, and was carving the canyons up here close to where I live, all the sport bike guys would wave to me and none of the Harley guys would wave to me. And then during that same day, I would change motorcycles and I would come home and I would go out on the Harley, and none of the sport guys, bike guys, would wave, but the Harley guys would wave. Isn't that funny how you identify with different things? And it's just kind of odd. I'm getting ready to go up in the mountains. I'm going to do a fishing trip. I'm getting the camper packed. I'm going through all these lists of things in my mind. I'm taking pencil and paper with me, and I'm sure this is just going to be for a few days, so if I run out of anything, it won't be the end. Besides, I can eat all the fish that I catch, right? Isn't that what you do when you go fishing? You don't have to bring groceries. You just catch fish and eat those. Yeah, in our dreams. But the kayak makes it a lot more fun. Gives you some opportunities. And I've also been increasing my time on the bench here with my glass projects. And I gotta say, I'm not doing that great. I've made just a few little trinkets here. This was supposed to be a marble, and I decided to squash it and make it into something else. What you see, a lollipop maybe, huh? And I put a little edge on it, and I'm trying to develop that hand-eye coordination and get used to the flow of the glass and what's happening to it. Here's my most recent marble. Let's see, which one is it? Oh yeah, I think it's, look at these two marbles. These are kind of neat. Look at how that blue got in there. Neat how that blue kind of penetrated into the glass there. It's kind of cool, I think. And I learned from each one of these that I've done. This is my most recent gear shift knob that broke. I thought it was really cool when I made it, and the colors changed totally when I put it in the kiln. It cooled off. I don't have a kiln yet, and you can see the cracks that developed because I didn't stress relieve it. I didn't have a hot enough kiln for it to cool slowly, and it's a thick piece of solid glass with all those little color things in there. There's some bubbles, and I've been watching things on YouTube, trying to learn more about glass and learning about. Every time I watch a video, this is something that my son did. It's pretty cool. And that yellow has a tendency to bubble up, so you have to learn which colors work and better than others. Here's another little thing that broke, but that's okay. A kiln is pretty expensive, and I'm hoping if I'm patient I can find a used one. There's so many people doing this glass work around here that people get into it and then find out it's much harder or much more difficult, or they just can't sell anything and make money with it. I don't know. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I remember making that one, and it takes a lot of patience. Here's one of the ones that my son made, and I showed it to you before. But isn't that cool how it just has that depth to it? And I'm gonna have to get a kiln if I do the gear shift knob size. And we'll probably do some sort of a giveaway once I get the knack of that. But I'm really on the learning curve, and I've been on the learning curve ever since I've been doing YouTube. There's some basic rules and things about YouTube that I've learned over the years. I've got over 500 videos posted up now, and I learned that it's good to watch your own video and try to see if be honest with yourself and say, is that something that I really enjoyed watching? What are you trying to accomplish when you make a video? Am I teaching something? Am I entertaining people? Am I just giving a personal update? Many times you develop over time a small group of dedicated followers who are just interested in you and like you and will watch anything that you put up because they're part of your immediate family. There's extended family, and then there's immediate family. And then there's people that come in and they check you out, or maybe they're trying to learn a specific thing. So you want to put a title to your video that sort of shows or tells what might be inside. There's also, I kind of call that the hook. It's kind of the way that you hook somebody to come inside. When you first post a video, it doesn't make any difference how many videos you have up there. When you first post a video, those first few days, you don't get, you get a little bit of a sudden rush of a few videos, watchers, so not necessarily subscribers, views, but then over time, sometimes it attracts more people. I've got some videos up there with 80,000 views, and I remember when I made the video, I was just making the video. It wasn't that kind of a video where I was looking for that or expecting that. And from the very beginning, I heard other people talk about earning some extra money, and I thought, well, retirement's coming up, and I don't want to be so totally dependent on Social Security, so I started making some videos, and I partnered, and they put the commercials, and a little comment about commercials. If you go to, when you're making your video, if you go to the advanced settings or the monetization part of, I believe it's titled monetization, and you don't monetize your video, there's still advertisements that goes up there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody that has advertisements pop up on their videos, once you've partnered, then you're going to get those types of advertisements whether you are getting money from it or not. And you don't get a lot of money. It's very, very, very minimal. It's not enough to live on, that's for darn sure. So maybe it would pay for a new camera over time, or some equipment. But most importantly, I've made a lot of friends, and I've gotten involved in other people's lives, whether they know it or not, by watching their videos and seeing how they do things. A lot of times I want to figure out something that I'm working on and I need some help. It's an excellent reference source, and I go and watch the videos. If you look at your own videos and go to the video manager and go down to where it says analyze, it will show you which of your videos, how the top 10 videos, for example. You can get much more information, but it's going to show you your top viewed videos and how much money they make, how much time spent watching them. Not just because you make a video doesn't mean somebody's watching it from beginning to end. And I'm not sure how much time they have to watch it before you get credit for it as a view. If somebody just clicks on it and then bails out, I'm not sure how that works out. I've never figured that out. But there's a lot of information to be gleaned from the YouTube Video Manager section. You can check your messages. You don't have to wait for an email and do them one at a time. You can go to your Video Manager, go to the community. It'll pull up comments, and you can check and answer comments right from there. You can check your personal messages or send messages from there. Reply to messages from there. Really cool stuff. Everybody needs to check that out if they're not already familiar with it. There's a lot of people that just joined YouTube so they could leave comments. They don't want to make videos, and that's fine, and that's understandable too. So there's just all kinds of aspects to YouTube and making videos and identifying with different groups and having fun. It's a virtual thing. Once you're in, you're in. There's nobody that can push you out. You are basically functioning as employee of YouTube. I suppose if you're not monetized, you wouldn't be an employee, but still, nonetheless, what you do and what you watch is being tracked, and you are being profiled, and that helps you find videos that you're interested in based on what you're watching. And you know what? Probably most of you have already bailed off of this one, and I want to go catch some fish. So this has been way too long of a video, but I wanted to put something up before I headed out for fishing, because I'm not going to be watching YouTube for a few days. I'm going to be out there in the lake catching fish. Hope you get a chance to do something fun. Hope this video has been helpful to some people just starting out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.